Hello and welcome to the Daily Red, your lunchtime catch-up on all things Liverpool FC, a daily reminder that the Reds are top of the league. How are we all today on this Thursday where nothing is happening because it's an international break? I fucking hate international football. We've got plenty to go through on This is Anfield today, and we've got some transfer rumours to take a look at. Ryan Gravenberch has left the Netherlands international squad and returned to Liverpool with an injury. Good. Hopefully it's something very minor, but I'm glad he's not playing the international games. I'd love to see all of our players over the next couple of days collectively get some minor niggles that rules them out of these international games so they can get back and just get resting. The last thing we need is more players playing more games for nonsense. So no issue there. Hopefully it's nothing serious. Obviously, we'll find out soon. But I'm glad he's not having to play those extra games because he's struggling so badly for us at the moment. He just doesn't need the extra load. JV Carragher has a new Mo Salah contract worry. So the crux of it is that Carragher is pointing to two games, PSG away and the Newcastle game in the final, as evidence as to why Liverpool may not want to give Mo Salah a new contract or the contract that he wants. Now, when you look at those two games, he obviously wasn't good in either. But he wasn't bad in the final. We just didn't give him the ball. That wasn't a failure of Mo Salah. That was a failure of our game plan. That was a failure of our manager. The PSG away game, I don't know why we have to always get into, oh, well, Salah was crap, rather than point out that Nuno Mendes was awesome. Nuno Mendes was legitimately awesome in that game. It was a brilliant defensive display from him. You see, the thing is, the reason teams now are maybe having a little bit more success against Mo, well, there's a couple of reasons. Number one, Ramadan is clearly a factor. It's clearly a factor. This guy works like an animal. He is non-stop. He is always working on improving himself, technically and physically. I don't imagine he slows down a whole lot during Ramadan. And he's clearly not going to have the same energy levels if he's fasting all day without food or water. Ibu is also struggling a little bit at the moment. And I think there's a bunch of players around Europe that I've seen have a drop off because of it. And it happens pretty much every year where there are players who do just have a drop during Ramadan. Sure, Lamine Yamal might still be playing well. Lamine Yamal is 17 years of age. He's not 32. There's an enormous difference in what you can do as a 17-year-old to what you can do as a 32-year-old. A 17-year-old is basically a Springer Spaniel, a non-stop ball of energy who doesn't know when to stop, who is incapable of rest. Think about when you were 17 and how much more energy you had, regardless of whether you're now 25, 32, 40, 50, whatever. When you were 17, you just had far more energy. It's just the way we're built. So I don't want to hear about Lamine Yamal. I had one very silly Wally say that Riyad Mahrez a couple of years ago proved that this is a myth. Nonsense. The year this fellow was pointing to, his evidence was that Riyad Mahrez scored a hat-trick in an FA Cup semi-final against a championship team. A championship team. But if you go and watch Riyad Mahrez in the Champions League games during Ramadan that year, he was dreadful. Absolutely dreadful. In the Premier League, his numbers took a dip. Ramadan is a factor, without question. But probably a bigger factor is that the other two positions in our front line at the moment are basically non-factors. Diaz has been really poor in recent weeks. He had a good, 15 minutes against Southampton? Darwin has been really poor. Jota has been awful. And Cody's been injured. So teams are able to cheat and send their left side centre-back over to help their left-back, knowing they can go 1v1 against Diaz and Jota, against Darwin, against whoever. They're not having to use that spare centre-back to cover to the right-hand side. They can cover to the left-hand side, our right, their left. And it just makes it an awful lot easier. It's easier to stop Mo for a fullback when they can play right up tight against him, knowing that if he knocks the ball past them, that centre-back is coming in to help clear it up. That's what happened in Paris on multiple occasions. That's what happened at Wembley on the very rare occasion we got Mo the ball. So these attempts to say that, oh, well, these two games are the reason Liverpool might consider not giving Mo a new deal. I think Mo's played 45 games this season. You're going to hold two against him? These are the same people. Like Jamie Carragher is the same fella who was championing? I can never say that word. You know what I mean. Cole Palmer as the best footballer in the country. Yet Cole Palmer's been dreadful now for a couple of months. Rarely a word out of Carragher about him. Carragher says, oh, well, if Salah had won the league, the Champions League and the Ballon d'Or, he could have asked for whatever he wanted. The Ballon d'Or doesn't get awarded till like November. So he wouldn't have won the Ballon d'Or either way by the time his contract renewal comes up. It's such a nonsense idea. Oh, if he only wins the league. In the history of the Premier League, right? Just the Premier League. Actually, in the history of English football, there's only been 4 teams that have won League and European Cup in the same season. We did it in the 80s. United did it in their treble. They did it again in 08. And City did it in their treble. And that's it. That's it. So the idea that because we're not winning the Champions League, winning the title is just something to dismiss. And I'm not saying Carragher's doing that, but that is a team that's going around. It's mental to me. It's absolutely mental to me. We're being told that just winning the league is somehow a disappointment. Winning the league, something we've done once in the last 35 years, is being downplayed. It's incredible. Salah is putting together the greatest individual season any player has ever had in the Premier League era. And we're being told, but he didn't win the Champions League, so maybe he doesn't deserve the big contract. What? We had more nonsense about Salah from John McKenzie, who's a Leeds fan who used to run, I believe it was All Stats, aren't we? A Leeds stats-based podcast. Basically, a Leeds version of Under Pressure, but not nearly as good because, you know, Under Pressure is leaps and bounds ahead of any of these other stats-based podcasts. And you can find it right here on AnfieldIndex.com. John McKenzie decided that he was going to try and make an argument regarding who the most impactful player in the Premier League was this season, right? And you would want to see the mental gymnastics that this fella put himself through to present an argument that the most impactful player in the Premier League this season, a season in which Mo Salah is putting together obscene numbers, that the most impactful player was not Mo Salah. So first of all, he decided to narrow it from all goal contributions to game state altering goal contributions. So a goal that either draws your team level or puts your team ahead. But okay, fair enough. Fair enough. You want to do that? You do that. You do you. Absolutely. But in that scenario, Mo Salah is still by far the most impactful player. So he went a little step further and he just removed assists. Apparently, setting up a chance for a teammate doesn't matter to John McKenzie. So he removed all assists. And the answer was still Mo Salah. So then he decided, well, I better remove penalties. Because apparently, scoring a pressure penalty to draw your team level or put them ahead doesn't count for John McKenzie. And he came to the conclusion that the two most impactful players in the Premier League this season were Alexander Isak, who's a tremendous player, without question, having a very, very good season, and Ollie Watkins. Ollie Watkins, who has had a pretty poor season, in truth. For most of the first half of the season, he was the second best striker at Aston Villa. For the entire season, he hasn't been Villa's best player. He hasn't even been in their top two. Morgan Rogers and Yuri Tielemans have been orders of magnitude better than Ollie Watkins this season. Like, genuine. This man sat down with what I imagine was a piece of paper, a crayon, and a supervising adult, and crafted an argument that Ollie fucking Watkins has been more impactful this season than Mohamed Salah.
Reds, it's Jack here, and that was a clip from one of Anfield Index's audio podcasts. If you have enjoyed the video, make sure you do like, share and subscribe to keep up to date on all things LFC. We record around 100 audio podcasts every month, with our shows featuring match-going fans, top journalists, professional analysts and even Liverpool legends along the way, with the Great Dane himself, Jan Molby, joining us every single week. If you want to listen to all our podcasts for free, head over to AnfieldIndex.com/podcasts. Our audio shows are available wherever you get your podcasts. Just search Anfield Index. Or if you prefer to listen to all our podcasts in full and without any ads, why not head over to AI Pro today to check it out now at AnfieldIndexPro.com. If you want to get involved in the great growing community of Liverpool fans, check out the Anfield Index Discord. The link is in the description. Do get involved with that, from Reds around every corner of the globe. For now, Reds, hope you enjoyed this video.